Today, we'll talk about finding answers and developing partners, which are essential in creating good technologies that you can take it to commercially successful innovations. What we see around us, let it be a telecom industry or automobile industry or in healthcare, pharmaceutical, medical devices that we use every day. Anything that is related as a product, maybe or the process which to make the product or the services that you get. It's all from different partners that they work with and they acquire what is the essential thing from the technology that you wanted to put that into your product. The technologies or the innovations of anything that coming out that we see in our day-to-day life is not indigenous. So it is from somebody else's. Way that people are doing is a part of open innovation where you acquire come together with the different industrial partners so you get the required or needed product process or service. So how is it possible? Essentially what happens in the globalization is you are in one part of the world but you acquire what is available from different parts of the world and put together and sell either in the country of your origin or you go and sell somewhere where it is needed for clear components, right? You say that the raw material is from somebody somewhere else, the components which to make what you are going to use it in a product, and there as a finished product you need an assembly line, and that is we call that architectural, and the finished goods which we sell it could be in the country of the origin or the other place. Globalization for a mobile phone or an automobile, raw material could be from the different parts of the Africa or South America or Eastern Europe or Asia. Then that raw material is converted into the required component using the technology that comes from the original equipment manufacturer. That comes from maybe the Western world, maybe Germany or Japan or from United States. Then to put together the assembly line could be in Taiwan or in China or Korea or in India or Eastern Europe. So the finished product either you sell in the country of origin and also all over the world. It is not necessary that it is only from one company, from one location that you generate from raw material to your finished product. So these crucial pieces of raw material components or products have multiple partners who implement what it is. So how is it possible? The linking point is just the knowledge. So we call that knowledge economy, right? You don't have to really have a manufacturing capability or financial background such a big weight that you need to produce that. So the knowledge that you come up with can actually cater to all the crucial pieces of raw material components or finished products from different parts of the world. The generation of the core technology is from specifically from the Western side. So we call that an establishment. They are the developed nations. So starting from Finland, Japan, Germany, or the US, they come up with the technology which over the years with lots of their expertise and experience in developing a patent protected technology. From there, it gets identifying a partner who can execute to make that cheaper, better, and faster. Together, you can achieve all the crucial pieces of the final product, process, or services. So now we all know the establishment is very good. They are very good in infrastructure. They have more economic power, right? And also skilled labor. Over the years, they are about at least about 30 to 50 years, they are ahead of the developing nations. So how they achieve that? It is not overnight or with just only one group of people that you come up with. No, it starts from academic institutes and you have smaller businesses, MSMEs, then the big corporates can also put things together. They are well equipped to come up with the new technologies because they can afford, they have the required expertise and knowledge in their companies and also working with academic institutes. Then in recent times, the startup culture, which really coming up with is academic institutes and the graduates who are coming out academic institutes, they come up with their own entrepreneurial thinking of picking up what is required for mankind, the society, the unmet need. Then they come up with their technology and the corporates and MSMEs and academic institutes put their money to take it forward to establish what is required. So that is one side of it. The global south is the other side where you call this as the execution partners of the establishment, right? Somebody is coming up with a good technology or knowledge that gets executed by the global south where it will be economically a little bit down or developing nations, starting from India, the Asian countries, Southeast Asia, or Eastern Europe and other nations like South American countries. The nature and availability of these things are little bit less than what you have in the establishment. And the same setup what we have is the academic institutes, MSMEs, corporates, and startups, right? The less opportunity for having this kind of infrastructure funding and skilled labor is now in recent times expedited to get more of academic institutes, MSMEs, corporates, and startups, which are in last at least 20 years such a way that people are getting into technology and innovation in academic institutes, and the number of academic institutes coming up in the country, and also MSMEs and also the corporates are increasing, right, including the startups. When you have all this, the mindset or the revenue generation for a global south country, anything is basically, if you think the establishment are coming up with a good technology, they own the technology, so we call them technology owners, then their workshop is in the global south, right? So they tell what to do and how to do, they provide that knowledge, and you execute that in global south countries. So if you take the big corporates, they work in tandem with the startup and MSMEs to get the technology from somewhere else. The fourth, that which is the academic institutes, where the research work that is happening. So when you have a technology owners workshop, the direction is set by the establishment, because they are telling this is what I want to get from you, and I'll provide what it takes for you to do. You make it that happen and give it to me. In the global south, the companies who are supporting the establishment for their requirement, see, they are very busy with what is that they need to supply. So you don't really have a techno sovereignty, right? So you are actually dependent. You're not independent and isolated and the freedom to do what you want to do. So your innovation outcome is very low. You produce something which cater to the needs of the establishment, but you are not creating your own. So all the time we are in the service oriented mode. In recent times, they focus, and we are also interested in bring that kind of change in the global south countries. Instead of this service mode, then how can we generate technology of our own? For that, the academic institutes interaction with corporates, startups, and MSME is very essential. When that happens, the network of linking everything from the technology owners workshop status, that we can change to a technology initiator or a technology producer. When we become a technology producer, that we create our own technology, something new to the world, then we have technological sovereignty, and our effort is innovation driven because we are coming with something new. So because of that, economical prospect is much better, and we are disrupting a status quo. We are not just do what somebody asks us to do, but we create something new which no one knew before, and that way we are becoming a technology producer. When all these are good, we cannot just achieve just like that. So we need to have a purpose, right? If you don't set a purpose with a shared vision, then we cannot really produce what the real technology that we are going to convert that into an innovation. How we do that? This is the framework that we have come up with. Everything starts with a purpose, and that purpose will derive to get us a problem statement. The problem statement will create the possibility of ideation. You prioritize very creative idea and try to implement and see whether you can really achieve. So once you do that, it is a working solution. So that's what it becomes a invention. So the good implemented solution, it can generate an invention. Then that invention can be commercialized. So if you take being a creative mind, right, generating idea, converting that in invention, and when you commercialize that, that is what we called as innovation. And innovation is a process. Innovation is not a single event. In the whole process, you work with the different stakeholders. So the stakeholders could be startup, an MSME, an academic institute, or a corporate. So now the whole purpose has to be common to everybody. If we are not aligned with a common purpose, then the assets or the knowledge that we derived is not going to achieve what your common purpose is. Then the fragmented ecosystem is not going to achieve great technological milestone, which can produce good innovation, this will actually hamper and the progress in the technology. So really what you need to do for a co-development is you all come together for a common purpose and everybody brings something to contribute to achieving that purpose. Then when you put all these assets together, you get a shared resources. So you can work much efficiently in achieving what you would like to achieve at the end. These shared resources are possible today, and the government of India and elsewhere in the different governments, and also the private institutes as well as the industry, what they really appreciate is bringing industry and academia collaboration, which will speed up your technology development. So this could be through a technology business incubator or a entrepreneur development cell or the institute innovation cell. When we do that, the outcome could be really a superior technology solution. There are two components. So finding answers and developing partners, meaning when you co-develop something new, you need to have common cause or a common purpose so that the solution that you bring by working with the different stakeholders, that you get much better technology solution. How do you protect every stakeholder's interest when we develop a common solution? That is only through intellectual property rights. So it could be patents or trademark or copyright, that what you come up with together and who gets what, you upfront. So now when you do this, it is not necessarily you need to only practice yourself to achieve your economic result. Technology transfers will enable us, especially for academic students and faculty members, where they are not into business or in manufacturing or in the in touch with customer base or anything, they can really transfer their technology along with their patents to somebody who will take and commercialize. These are all theoretically we said, right? But how do we do that? Innovation training is very essential. You need to really bring people to understand what is innovation for individually, for organizations like academic institutes and or startups or MSME or corporate. So the decision makers, which is the management, basically has to set a goal, and the execution is going to be from the talent pool. They both need to be in the same page, the shared vision of achieving something which will be good for the mankind, at the same time economically that you can generate revenue. So that is important. It doesn't stop there. So when you do that in innovation training, there are processes involved that when you generate lots of ideas, right? Because plenty of ideas can come for one given project. You need to have a definite process in driving that, because you want better use of resources. It could be money or your time of your employees. So stage gate is one such process where you really down select your ideas, then you start working on as a process, right? Every stage that you execute and every gate you actually take a decision, should this project go to the next stage or not. So that is between the management and the execution component, they come together and decide on. So innovation is a process, and the innovation management is the essential component for an organization to achieve what they wanted to achieve through innovation. Now you have plenty of opportunities, not only from your organization. Open innovation concept is the idea could be from anybody within your organization or outside, so that you put a co-developing nature, you partnership with them for maybe you need 4 different technologies needed to acquire, and they are coming from different partners, you put together. So you manage your resources well, then you achieve in a shorter time, much efficient way, that in a lesser budget, at the same time you get the best solution. You don't wait for 6 years to develop a product, process, or service, but you do that in maybe 6 months time. So there are some people, you are looking for certain technology. Once they identify this is the technology need, then you scout, then you do a licensing, transfer the technology. The solution seekers, right, they will look for the technologies what is available that they can use, but the people who have generated technology also looking for somebody whom they can sell their technology. So that kind of thought process and technology transfer is one means that you can achieve everybody's requirement. So when you put all together, these are the 4 things that you really need. You need for an organization to know about what is innovation. So you need to really train people on innovation and innovation management, on the process of how do you derive. Then technology transfers of the technology solution that you derived, and every stakeholder, the whole process gets a win-win situation. So what we do in IEL, we are really doing all of this. We do innovation training. We also have innovation management trainings, which basically in recent years, ISO has come up with the 56,000 series where they wanted to really benchmark innovation and innovation management, the terminology and the definition, so that among in the globalization between the countries, that everybody understands the same language. It's going to be like a quality certification from ISO for innovation management. So technology transfer we do. So currently we have tie up with a company HEA where they have developed their technologies in healthcare, in the energy sector, solar, and also in batteries. So those technologies that they patented, we help them to do patent in India, in PCT, in the world patent, and also in the US. So that technologies we are licensing out, looking for partners to the manufacturing company. Since they're all very futuristic, so we are looking for partners who are really big corporates. While doing that, we also help organizations with the problem solving. So if anybody is having any technology problems, that we also help them in solving. So if you really look at in a nutshell, IEL technologies really cover both the finding answers and the developing partners, so that the innovation landscape that the organization, especially academic institutes, help the faculty members, the institutes, the students, working with the MSMEs and the corporates, so that they get the technology and develop that. We transfer the knowledge starting from idea generation to commercialization. If your organization is interested in taking our services, starting from training and helping with the technology development as well as technology transfer, we'll be very happy to. Thanks for listening.